What is up, everybody, and welcome back to The Rewind. I'm your host, Sid, and today we got a really special episode for y'all. This is an episode that has been kind of a couple of months in the making. I've been in contact with Erica since February to get something booked, and she's one of the first really big interviews I've ever had on this show in a long time. We had a couple of notable people on the show if you followed along in the last 2 years. So I was very excited to get her. Um, we talk about Dragula. We talk about her drag aesthetic. We talk about a little bit about her writing and video games. And it was really such a great interview. And I was really grateful to have her on the show. So, yeah, there was a lot that went into it behind the scenes. And I was really proud of myself for getting this interview, and I feel like I did a really good job. And I'm very excited to invite more people onto the show. Specifically, it'll definitely be local drag focus, but I definitely want to include bigger names as well. I have a few people in mind, so stay tuned to the channel to see if you will get to see them in the future. I'm also This episode comes out on Friday, and I'm recording this on Friday, and I have to go to work eventually. So hopefully, by the time before I go to work, I'll have this episode uploaded. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you all for being here in the last 2 years, last I guess 3 years at this point. Do we count it as 3 years if I haven't uploaded in a year? I do. I still exist somewhere, and the podcast is still in my brain. It was just on pause. But 3 years into this, and this is probably the biggest interview I've ever got. So why don't you sit back, relax, and rewind with Erika Klash? My guest today on the show is someone that's been on my bucket list of guests ever since I rebooted the Rewind. She's Her drag is an inspiration of gaming, anime, and horror, an amalgamation of all that. And you might have known her from one of the most popular drag competition shows that is not called RuPaul's Drag Race, the Boulet Brothers Dragula and the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans. Please welcome to the show, Erika Klash. Erika, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's bright and early. It's like high noon here in LA. I got my water, so I'm hydrating and ready to get into all these questions.
I love that. It's very dark and gloomy here in Spokane, Washington.
Oh no.
It was bright and sunny before, and now it's just whatever. Like, I guess it's cold now, so that's not fun at all.
We kind of switched off. I feel like LA is becoming a more moist climate all of a sudden.
That's really nice
We're getting
because
more rain down here.
yeah, it used to be I just remember all the dry spells that y'all had over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now
Thankful
now
for
it's
the
warm.
rain when it comes.
Oh, for sure, especially for drag too. I bet.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's so true.
So, Erica, I got a bunch of topic of conversation that I want to talk about. Are you ready for these
Okay.
topics?
Yeah, I'm
So,
ready.
sweet. So, my mom watches the show. She has no idea who you are. And she probably doesn't even know what a Boulet brother is. And I guess
Okay.
until last year, I didn't even know the Boulet brothers were not related to each other. So I want you to tell the wayward artist, my audience, who you are, what you do, and what inspires your drag.
Yeah, so I'm a drag artist. I've been doing that for 10 years. When I created Erika Klash, she was sort of like this video game princess, so like a Princess Peach type. But then I started really folding in elements of anime and Japanese street fashion. And then when I got into Dragula, that's when I really started to explore my horror nerddom and sort of melding that with my drag. So that's been really great. I love to think of like my art as like a one-person theater company where I bring a full show with lighting and video and all kinds of different elements. So I love the multimedia nature of drag. I love photography. I love mixing it with photography, videography. I love makeup. That's probably like my favorite part of the transformation is the makeup process. And yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years.
I love that. This year's your 10-year anniversary, which we'll get into later in the year. But
Yeah.
happy 10 years, by the way. Like you're practically in middle school right now.
Right.
Yeah. Um, you said
Preteen.
pretty much, yeah. You're not quite into puberty yet. I did want to ask because like your makeup is what is so iconic. Can you like talk about like your look right now? Because getting in full drag at like it's right as a recording, it's like 12 p.m. Like that's crazy. And I really appreciate that. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're wearing?
Yeah, this was a kind of like a shortcut drag. Like I wanted to do something simple but also make it fun. And I kind of like I don't normally do this eye shape. I do sometimes, so it's like a softer eye. I really wanted to play with blush today, so that's what I was working on. And then this jacket,
Oh,
you can't really
oh,
see it too well, but this jacket I thrifted, and the dress I made and hand dyed the fabric. So it's a fun little oldie but goodie that I haven't worn in a while. So I wanted to kind of share it today.
I love that. I that jacket is amazing.
Thank you,
Like
thank you. All
like
the studding and the stencil hearts.
yeah, did you and you said you thrifted it, you didn't like make it like specifically.
I thrifted it, and then I customized it. Like I was cutting bits of fabric, and then and this is all like foam that I adhered to the jacket and did all the studding and everything. Um, so yeah,
And
I like this jacket.
no,
It's like
that's amazing.
fun and comfortable for, waist up drag. So
I love that. And like I love that waist up drag. I'm kind of in waist up drag too. Like
right.
I'm just wearing like my shirt here and then I'm just wearing the shittiest shorts that I've been wearing for the last couple weeks. So if
Exactly,
i-
exactly.
if any one of us is styled better, it's probably you. I do want to get into just a little bit. You mentioned when you were on Dragula, that was a really good opportunity for you to explore the horror aspect of your drag. Have you
Yeah,
applied that a lot, like recently, within the last couple of years? Because it's been a while
yeah.
since you've been on the Boulet brothers. Even like on Titans, it was like what
That
20
was
was
2 years ago now, almost
yeah.
2 years ago.
Has that?
Um,
Do you still play around with horror?
Yeah, I mean, and it always been there since the beginning. Like I was always doing some sort of ghost, whether it was like early drag, like the Ghostbusters song, that's more camp horror, but like we're even like doing like experimenting with like Carrie themed numbers. Zombie makeup was like a huge thing that I had done since early on, like just different versions of that like pop art zombie. So it had always been there. But then when Dragula happened, that's when I really started to apply it more and like really started to even lean into horror references and horror characters like in my performances. And so yeah, and I still love it and I still enjoy um doing that. I'm working on something I think that I want to have inspired by demons too. So
Oh,
like another version of that zombie
mhm.
character.
Okay.
Yeah, so stuff like that.
Oh, I love
I'm a
that.
huge nerd, so I like to put a lot of nerdy references into my performances and like the looks that I do.
I think that's stunning. I love your horror stuff. I think like when you're on the show, like you were I I just fell in love with you on the show and like your aesthetic. Like
Thank you so much.
the Boulet brothers maybe not so much because you got, you know, eliminated, but I held a really good piece of my heart in you. Like I think like I mentioned you when I mention you to other people, I call you like the unstoppable Erika Klash because specifically in your season, you were like full on, like you never gave up, which
Yeah.
like I, as someone who tends to give up a lot, like that was really inspiring as well. So, um,
Excuse me.
oh, that's okay. But
I'm really glad that I can be that for people, and that's one of the most positive takeaways from I think season 2 in particular.
mhm.
Is people seeing that and being inspired by that. So I love that.
Yeah, not to get too into it, but I did love you on Titans as well. Like
Yeah, thank you,
I
thank
thought you
you,
did a really good job. But
thank
um,
you.
when it comes to like the anime and video games aspect of it, is there like you're a nerd, you love all types of video games and stuff like that. But is there a video game franchise that you kind of like go back to a lot?
Ooh, I mean, Pokemon is the thing that I play the most by far. Like, I'm a huge, obviously, Pastel PokeManiac, like, really leaning into that. But I've always been a Nintendo fan, so and I love games that are not photorealistic. I love retro games. I love that 8-bit, 16-bit sound. So that's really where I live and where I love. And so like you can see my background today is from Castlevania
I love
3, I
it.
think.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like I just love to incorporate it. And I've done Castlevania, been like reference that in a lot of looks and numbers too. So
Oh man, I love Castlevania so much.
yeah.
I haven't played it like fully because I only started getting into the retro aspect of the gaming sphere in the last, I want to say like 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm not from this country, by the way. I'm from Saudi Arabia, so
Right.
a lot of those old games were kind of hard to come by. But I did play Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and that game is so good. I was just really obsessed with that. Um, but yeah, you mentioned Pastel PokeManiac, and
Yes.
since you brought it up, let's get into it because Pastel PokeManiac is separate from your Erika Klash character. At least the way you described it on social media, it was kind of like it seemed like two different entities. Can you explain like what it is and like how you came upon it?
Yeah, I've always loved dualities, whether that's like the dualities that exist within Erica, but then also this idea of like um focusing more on the person out of drag and like letting that person shine. And that was like a big takeaway from my Twitch and Discord community was that they've loved getting to know me out of drag as well. And just lately I haven't had a lot of time or a lot of like battery, let's say, to like stream and drag. So kind of parlaying it into a sort of a more out of drag um venture. That sounds so pretentious, but like just a part of my life that I can do out of drag has been really nice. And yeah, I've just always been a huge Pokemaniac and like I love sharing that. We play a lot of Pokemon on the channel, but we still also do like retro and stuff. So what did we just finish? Well, did Mario Wonder recently, and then
Yes.
we're gonna pick back up on Donkey Kong Country 3. So um yeah, and it's just been really good to again create time and space for the person behind the character. That's been so healthy.
Yeah, that's so great to hear because like that was kind of my intention with this interview too, is to I want to get to know the person behind Erica Clash a little bit and get to explore that. So having that avenue for people to get to know you, the person behind the drag artist, is really smart, I think. And I was actually watching some of your clips too. Like, I kind of got mesmerized by you were playing as what's her name? Like it was on your it's on the
Was it
it's not
Daisy in
Daisy,
Mario
yeah.
Wonder?
Yeah, Daisy and Mario Wonder. That specific level where you have to do like the rhythm thing. Like,
Yeah.
isn't Mario Wonder great, by the way?
It's so great. It's been such a serotonin boost to
Mhm,
like just seeing the fun things that they come up with and you're always kind of surprised and at the same time like just overjoyed. Like it's just like so fun.
mhm.
And even like Bowser's so unserious in this game, like it just
Mhm.
really hits it hits really well. And the fact that they I think shook it up a little bit from New Super Mario Brothers, well, I think that was necessary. As
Yeah, the
much as I
aesthetic.
love like enjoy those games, um yeah, it's a really fresh take on Mario Wonder. The character roster getting so updated, like
Mhm.
yeah, it's really awesome.
Have you I was just looking through some of your drag things for later on in the episode, but have you ever done a Mario inspired like look, or whether it's
Yeah,
like
back in the day when I was like baby drag, I did very interesting versions of certain characters. So I did like Daisy, Rosalina, but it was very like cosplay website drag, like just starting out. But then I've done Shy Guy on and off for years. Like that was actually a store-bought costume that I think look like is pretty close to what Shy Guy is. So it kind of works out, especially with the makeup. So I've enjoyed that. Um, Let me think. I think that's mostly it. The Shy Guy. It's probably
no,
my favorite Mario look.
that's stunning. I have to find that. Is it posted on your Instagram? Because like if everything's right now, we have a little stream of all your aesthetics like up on the
Yeah, I
episode.
think it's somewhere on my Instagram. It might be kind of far down,
Yeah, we'll go get
but
it.
in February of last year,
Okay.
I did Shy Guy for like a stream.
Sickening. Like
Yeah.
Shy Guy, but make it slay. You know.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I have the big hood and it's just really cute, really fun and cute.
But Pokemon, it sounds like it's your main bread and butter on that channel, especially Manic Poke like Pastel PokeManic
Yes.
in the name
Yeah.
and everything. Have you Are you excited for I I'm forgetting what the name is, but like it's the sequel to the game that you're playing right now. It's Arch Pokemon, where it's the
Oh,
open
Pokemon
world.
Legends
Uh,
ZA?
yeah, Pokemon Legends
The new
ZA.
Pokemon
Yeah,
Legends.
yeah.
Yes, I'm excited for it. I hope they have some surprises for us. I'm glad Mega Evolution's back.
Mhm.
I just don't know how I feel about it just being in Lumio City. So, but I'm have faith in that it's going to be enjoyable and fun. It's
Yeah,
going to be refreshing, I
I
hope.
think them being in the modern aesthetic a little bit will help it out a lot to like make it
Yeah.
really good. The only thing, Game Freak, the Poke Company, please, like, don't have any bugs. Like, make it like work just a little bit, a little
I
polish.
think they're making us wait because they want to dot those I's and cross those T's. I have hope and faith that that's the case at least.
I hope the Switch 2's comes out.
Right.
I know
Right.
that.
That might be why they're delaying it too and being kind of mum about it.
Mhm.
We just don't know.
Yeah, I did have another question. It kind of going into our next topic, when it comes to like Pastel PokeManiac, Erika Klash. You had mentioned in a Reddit post, I think someone had mentioned like, "Oh, where's Erika Klash?" Blah blah blah, and you
They
you were
were
like
like,
trying,
why didn't they bring her on to guest judge the Kaiju challenge or
yeah,
something
or
on
something
season
like that.
5?
And then I was like, and then you were like, you've been kind of burnt out. Do you want to expound on that a little bit? Like, how have you been feeling lately when it comes to like your
Yeah,
art and like yourself a little bit?
yeah. Dragula Titans was really mentally and emotionally draining. And I think between season 2 and Titans, I was very, as we saw, laser focused. But I really was focused on this goal that I had to come back to the show. And then once I had kind of achieved that goal, it's like, okay, well, what next? You know, and there were some, tough circumstances that happened, like after just the drag economy being so tough, it really starts to wear you down as well. You start to tie your level of like success based on like how much money you can make or how much you're struggling or like, and there's other performers in drag that I've talked to about this, and so it's not just me, like we're all kind of feeling it. It's just hard to make that work, and I think I needed to, yeah, just take a step back. I dove into like my education and like helping professions work, which I do now full time. So I really just, yeah, again, and also just making time and space for myself because I think um drag, it's like multiple jobs in one, and it's your own hustle, and your ego is kind of tied to it, so you end up kind of putting that first, and I did that for many years, and I just felt like I needed to put other things first for a little while at least. So the save data is like always there,
Mhm.
but I'm just kind of doing other things right now for the most part, but at the same time, like I am going to do meatball show on Friday, so
Yeah.
I'm just, it's like a rebalancing of things in my life as opposed to like I'm like retiring or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, do you think because of the popularity of Dragula compared to your season, like season 2 was so long ago and it was still kind of baby at that
Yeah.
point. And now we got we got to the point of Dragula where it's Titans. Like they have their own RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star moment.
Right.
Do you think like a lot of that pressure came with the fact that the show became a lot more popular than it was before?
Yeah, I mean, it was this excitement because it was like the first time I was going to be working with Shutter,
Mhm.
and that they were great, and so I was excited for all of that, and I really had high hopes and high expectations for myself, and it was just really hard to, um, have it pan out the way it did, and
Yeah.
then to have, you're trying to navigate this really difficult drag economy at the same time, and so you start to feel like like you failed, or like you're a failure, or like you're, everything that you do is shit, or like none of it mattered, like all the work that you put in, like, so that you just get into that negative self-talk, and so I've just been working on myself and just trying to like work through that stuff.
I'm really glad you said that, Erica, because that's been kind of the problem with my show, specifically the Rewind. I feel like there have been a lot of successes for me on this show when it came to like getting guests on the show, certain types of guests that I've always wanted to have, and being nominated as the second best podcast in the Inland Northwest. Like that's, I just, I always felt like, okay, we achieved this like monumental goal, and I feel like there's a lot of expectation now to like get the bigger guest or get the bigger thing,
Mm,
that where to the point where it was like I feel like I was putting so much pressure on myself, and it became not fun to do. If the questions felt kind of whatever, the interactions, like I could feel myself not being as engaging like in the last couple episodes. Not recently, like the last couple episodes. Great episodes. The ones from like a couple years ago were just like I felt like I was losing my footing too and all that. So I've been going also through that journey of like fixing myself and focusing on other things. And you mentioned the save data comment, and I was like, the save data is there. Like we haven't given up on the podcast or whatever, but it was like I needed to like shift focus into what I want this show to be and how I can
yeah.
make it fresh. And it sounds like you were going through the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like it's this mindset of like there has to be like endless growth, right? And I think it's just pervasive in our society, like this idea of like you constantly have to be achieving up. But then it's like, oh, but you did all this great stuff. Now you can do other great stuff, and it's still there, and it doesn't have to go away. Um, but it's okay to say like I'm out of gas. I need to take care of me, and like again, just like do step into things that are not egoistic, because like it or not, that's just what drag is.
Mhm. Was Pastel PokeManiac like kind of a response to like how you were feeling about where you're
Well,
at in life, or like as
m-
a new avenue?
more of a result of it because I still wanted to stream. I didn't want to let that go either. Um, Again, my schedule just doesn't allow me to stream in drag, and if I am going to take a break, then that's part of like that is just like reducing the amount of time that I'm doing that. So, it really was like a way to keep that going, and then just have a social outlet for me.
Mhm.
Because that time for me is like relaxful time. Like I don't necessarily always want to be a character or um do that. So yeah, I guess it kind of was.
Mhm. No, I love that. I mean, if people are expecting you to be in drag on that channel, like they can watch Deary, or there's another one called Nemesis as well. Like those are
Right.
people who do that full
Well,
time.
that's the thing. Like I didn't want to throw away all the Erica content on my platform, so that's why like a lot of it is listed as both of us.
Mhm.
But I needed to at least like show that there's two different types of content, and like if you're into one not the other, like just stay followed or not. Like do like I'm not in a place in my life where I'm focused on like getting the most followers or doing the most having the most viewers or whatever. Like I just want to be playful with that process and do what I enjoy.
I love that. I love and respect that. I think that's really great, and it's good for someone like me to hear as well. Is that there's other things that you could do, and you know, just got to follow what's right for you in that moment.
Mhm. Mhm.
Speaking of your drag, though, I do want to get to. I have two more topics here, and this is a ranking topic.
Ooh, I
Um,
like rankings.
yes, it's two looks that I have from your history that I want to share with you. So the first one I pulled up online. Um, this this is a. Can you do you want to like I could talk about it, but like I think you're better at talking about this specific look. Can you tell the audience about what this look is?
Hello Kitty meets Divine. Really, really silly. I took some elements of Pink Flamingos, like I turned Hello Kitty into Connie Marble and I had a bubble gun and it's just I wish I still had that dress. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, yeah, and according to the like the page that I got this from, this was what you wore to the premiere for Dragula.
Yeah, for season 2.
Okay, nice. I didn't like. I'm kind of new to Dragula, so I didn't really. like see any premiere stuff. I was looking at like some like old photos, and I did like this is a look that you use a lot, and I love Divine. Like Divine's one of my favorite drag queens.
I'm just the skinniest Divine impersonator like ever.
No, it still looks
Like
stunning.
thank you, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, I Divine was like one of the first drag queens I ever saw in Saudi Arabia, and I was obsessed with that. And I'm just obsessed with the fact that it's a Hello Kitty. Are you holding her head in this picture?
I'm holding her by the rope because out of Pink Flamingos, they like tie them up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, like tie them up, and I think they might have like tarred and feathered them or something.
Okay.
I think that
Nice.
was, I forgot exactly, but I would really remember going in on the details and like trying to recreate that scene.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, Kitty, Marble, Connie, Kitty.
I love that. Erica, should my mom watch Pink Flamingos?
Oh, well, who's that depends.
I mean, like she loves the queer community. I mean, she knows that I'm queer, so it's a queer classic.
It's definitely a classic, and it's an exercise, let's say, for someone that's not used to that kind of content.
Mhm.
It's definitely an exercise.
So here's another look of of yours. Like this one's more, I would say, like classic Erica to me anyway, like
Mm,
from the horror
mm,
aspect of it all. Do you want to like
yeah.
talk about this aesthetic a little bit?
Yeah, so I think you can see the doll there. So that doll was given to me by a fan when I went to the UK.
Mhm.
And going to the UK was like a huge dream come true. So we got lots of fan gifts. And that was the one that I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn this and take this, or take this and turn this into a prop for this look that I want to create. And it was sort of inspired by that Sabrina episode in the Pokemon anime where she has like that
Oh,
sort of younger child version of her. So this idea that like I can be a mirror to the doll and we can kind of mirror each other. She can be me in miniature. I was sort of inspired by that idea. So it was like, I would take the garment there and like I hand dyed it, hand distressed it, did all the deep paint detailing and the dirt detailing. And as the as the costume changed, the doll changed. Like I started adding certain details to the doll. So it was kind of interesting. Like it started off as one inspiration, and then the garment informed the doll after the doll had informed the garment, if that makes sense.
no, that does. That sounds really interesting. Especially
And
like,
then like silver spiders with a dark, like a magenta, like Black Widow dot in the middle. Like I just got obsessed with that idea of like spiders.
oh yeah, this looks the look is so cool. And what I really like about it, and like I like what I like about like all your wigs specifically, you always put stuff in it. And I just think that's like a lot of fun. Like, was there a reason? Like, we're going back to the aesthetic topic, but is there a reason why you like putting a bunch of stuff like in your wigs?
Yeah, that's like all inspired by Decora fashion. Like the
Oh,
more is more philosophy. And I did a more sort of pedestrian Decora fashion look, like very, very much in like my baby drag era. And yeah, I've just always loved that, like just decorating something like to the nth degree. So that kind of started with those wigs.
I love I love maximalism. Like that's my favorite.
Yeah, like just all the colors, every color.
Every color, everything. Like I don't know why we're so obsessed with like less, when more is great.
Right, 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 right. Like I just don't limit my color palette. I don't limit my color combinations.
Mhm.
Um, just love it.
Okay. Now we have a third one. And we
Okay.
talked about video games before, but
Mm,
let's talk about the NES. Like I know that
yeah.
yeah, talk a little bit about this because you brought this look a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's such a classic. Like, it was me sort of, I think that was for I did a Twitch Pride party when I lived in San Francisco, and they gave me a really nice budget, aka they paid me really well. So I was able to like really invest in something, and I had a dressmaker, kind of like they've done like garments for Peaches Christ and Heklina,
Oh,
and I ended up
nice.
becoming friends with them, and I lived in San Francisco. So we had a very collaborative way of working together, and so we were talking about the design, and like she did so much detail work, not just with the fit, but the horizontal stripes. Those were all individual pieces that she sewed together. So, and then I just kind of stoned it from head to toe. I took like just like brown leather chokers and stuff and like use that to kind of represent that like leather backpack that Ness had, the bedazzled bat, the hat being on one side in particular because he wears it on one side only.
Oh
So
yeah,
all the taking all those little details, like a little boy character that people would compare me to when I was little.
really.
Um, yeah, and just creating this hyper glam, campy take on it. That's like very classic Erica.
Oh, that's really nice. I'm glad you mentioned that people compared you to like Ness out of drag. Like
Yeah, like my cousin was playing the original Smash and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna unlock this character for you because he kind of reminds me of you." And I was like, "Who is he?" Like I never really played Earthbound when I was little, so it was kind of later that I discovered it.
Yeah. Well, not a lot of people play Earthbound because Nintendo refuses to release like a proper modern version of that game.
Or Mother 3.
Oh yeah, Mother 3, specifically Mother 3.
Yeah, they have something against Mother 3 over there.
Yeah,
It's
I don't get it.
crazy.
No, I love it. I brought it up because I I haven't played Earthbound like fully, but I do love like just the aesthetic of that game. I like
Mm.
what the gameplay. I like playing as Ness in Super Smash Brothers. Um, so you doing this look is so great, and you brought back this look. I don't know. I think it was like a couple years ago, and you added Pac-Man to it. I think we'll bring it up like
Oh
on the
yeah.
screen here. Like, what made you want to like combine the two characters together? Because you it seems like you brought this look a lot. You just updated it for the modern times.
Yeah, pure necessity because I was doing two numbers that day.
I see.
And so I was like, let me try to um yeah, like even if it looks a little weird, like for the Nest look, like it'll be great for the Pac-Man number.
Mhm.
So it's one of those moments where like I just didn't have the time to do a makeup change. It was like a four-person show.
Okay.
So I was just like, we're gonna do a twofer.
No, I love that.
But
So,
I think like the Pac-Man makeup lives within the color story of the Ness,
mhm.
even if it's kind of weird to see like a yellow Ness face.
No,
And the
I
eye
think that
makeup
makes
was the same, and the red lip is the same.
no, that totally makes sense. I mean, like you could just say like it was a Super Smash Brothers like inspired look.
Yeah, a reskin.
Yeah, exactly. So rank the rank these three looks of yours. Like which one was your favorite? Which one's your second favorite? And which one was your least favorite of these three that I picked?
Yeah, I feel like the design, the divine is good. It's not my favorite. Just the makeup was tough that day. Like I was still trying to nail it down, like figure out exactly what I wanted. Am I trying to do a bald cap? I mean,
Mhm.
so, but I'm still happy with it. Um, I mean, I think the Nest is probably, I don't know. It's hard to say between the Nest and the doll look. I really can't say.
Yeah,
They're both like great as like two different versions of Erica. You know what I'm saying? So like
e-
apples and oranges.
exactly. Like these are like three different aesthetics, and I think it speaks to your versatility. Like you're not just the crazy horror anime gal from Dragula. Like you could pull out other looks. You could do other things.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I think I I'm biased because I love Divine. Like I would put the Divine one at number one. Like it is because it is really different compared to like everything else that you've done. Um, I would put the zombie doll one in the middle because that's a classic Erika Clash look. And then I guess by default the Nest one, but I still think the Nest one's really great. Does that seem fair?
Cool. Yeah, sure.
All right. So we are coming towards the end of the podcast. How are you feeling so far? Pretty good?
I'm good. Yeah.
Nice. This one's kind of a meaty one, a big one. Um, uh, it's your 10-year anniversary, as we
Mhm.
mentioned at the top of the show. Um, doing anything for 10 years is like unfathomable to me.
It's
Like,
crazy.
like the same thing over and over for 10 years. Like that, I don't think that could be me, but it is you. You've done Erica Klash for 10 years. Congratulations. You've lived through some wild times. You've done online drag competition shows. You've done two of the biggest drag competition shows in the world. Um, that's not RuPaul's Drag Race, and you've traveled around the world meeting amazing people. Um, I was just kind of curious, what is the next 10 years for Erica Klash?
I don't know. I don't know. I want her to go on in some way. Like, I would love to make some time for writing because I have some ideas for Erika Klash as like a 2D character. So like, will she go into 2D? Are there other opportunities like non-competitive TV opportunities? Um, I'm just kind of figuring it out. Um, yeah,
Ex-
I don't know. I don't have a hard answer, but
expa-
I'm still open to performing and, you know, coming out and if there's like conventions, especially like, it's a really being a part of Dragula has been cool because you know, you have your sort of place in that dynasty of drag, televised drag and Dragula and all that. So, um, but yeah, as of right now, I'm really focusing on my other career, which is in the helping professions, and my Twitch channel and stuff like that.
Expound on the writing, because like I didn't know that you like to write. Like,
Yeah, I used to, well, I went to school for playwriting and screenwriting, and then I
oh,
fell into drag and I kind of put that to the side because I just wanted to, I was just love performing and I love the immediacy of like getting to perform on stage and like bring a story to the stage really fast. Um, so and also I think drag helped me a lot to figure out like my gender identity and that all that kind of stuff. Like Erica's of course like a huge part of my gender expression too. um but yeah, like I, moved to LA. I started thinking about writing again, and so I have a couple ideas, some of which are non-Erica related, but one of which is. And so I'd be curious to kind of see where that goes and like if there's a way for her to exist as like a 2D character,
mhm.
even if she's not physically on me anymore.
No, I love that idea. Is there anything that you've wrote that you want to share that you probably don't have the
Not
space
right
for?
now because it's all in the treatments
Okay,
stage, but I'll say
that's
like
fair.
one of them would be like an Erica idea, looking at like drag and mixing other genres in there. um Sort of like pulling from like my Sailor Moon, but then also Pokemon, but then also Godzilla, but then also, so it's like just like with my drag, it's like a melange of different references. But and then I have some like sort of horror ideas as well. So because that's what I like when I went into school my first year, I was like guns blazing, like I'm a queer horror writer. So it all kind of makes sense. Like when I told the Boulets that I had done that in school, they were like, okay, yeah, that makes sense that you would end up on Dragula. So just kind of curious to see where that goes. But I have to make time for it first. I've been like working so much that I need to like, yeah, get some mornings scheduled to like
Yeah,
just be playful and write. Because that's the other thing too. Like I want to do it and I just want to have fun doing
yeah. You need a personal assistant that will like just do it all for you.
it.
But I think, and I know it's probably like a lot of money, but like I think you can thrive on a world tour, like, well, maybe not a world tour, but like a small tour of like the Erica Class show type deal.
Yeah, like I've thought about stuff like that too, like doing some sort of like one person stage show that is a little bit more, I don't know, maybe more monologue-ish. Maybe it's more like different numbers and like a series of sort of strung together, but I've thought of something like that as well.
Yeah, I would pay to see it. I would pay. I would pay to see it, and I would pay the meet and greet fee as well.
Okay.
All right, Erica. So that's all the topics I have. We need to get into the lightning round questions of the show.
Okay.
It's a series of 5 questions that like to ask guests each and every week. But depending on if I upload every week, I haven't uploaded anything in the last couple weeks. Erica, are you ready for these questions?
Sure.
Question number one: describe a perfect day.
Ooh, the perfect day. I think waking up at just the perfect amount of or time of day where like the sunshine is hitting you as you wake up, coffee, like, a loved one next to you as well.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, just enjoying the sunshine, doing something outside, going to the park, going for a hike. Um, having a nice dinner outside, time to rest and hang out on the couch in the evening. Something simple like that. I like the simple pleasures.
Yeah. I mean, all my guests do. Like they kind of describe a lot of similar things like that. And hey, the weather's getting better, so it'll be
Right.
time for outdoor food
Right.
eventually.
Yeah. Yeah,
Have you?
maybe I just have summer on the brain today.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, like just a lovely day like that, like just spending time with people that matter.
yeah. I love that. I think that would be a perfect day for sure. You answered correctly. Question number two. What is a song that describes your life right now? It doesn't have to be your favorite song, but if there's a song
Ooh,
in mind that describes how you're feeling right now, is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about that. Like, what do I have on my phone? I can tell you what's like the soundtrack to my time lately has been the Night of the Demons theme song,
Oh, okay.
which is really like 80s and I don't know what describes my life. I don't know, that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a hard question, especially like when I ask it and then everybody just forgets every single song they've ever heard.
Yeah, right. I'm really trying to think this through. Let me look on my phone to see if anything
Mhm,
fits that bill. I mean, maybe the Pokemon Emerald soundtrack, because I've kind of had that on repeat as well.
mhm.
The Mario Wonder soundtrack, to be
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
That's kind of what's
I mean, if you had have said the Mario Wonder soundtrack, I would have said hell yeah. You know,
I think that kind of is it.
yeah,
You
it's a
know,
good
I've
one.
just yeah, I've just been listening to it a bunch and yeah, it's
Game
really good.
Game Award nominated soundtrack too. So
Is it
we got.
really?
I think so. I think it might have won. I could be wrong. I watched it. That award ceremony was so long ago, but it was nominated. I think so. You got good
Was that in
taste.
like December?
Yes, they do
Yeah.
the Game Awards
December.
every December. So
Right. I remember
yep.
being at a bar watching that, but like scarcely.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like there wasn't really anything going on that award show, so you didn't miss anything. uh, question number three: what is your third favorite movie in your list of top
Third
10?
favorite.
Yes.
Third favorite
Mm-hmm. It's the third one, not the first, not the
movie.
second.
I'll say Young Frankenstein because I wouldn't
Ah,
normally say it as like a first or second, but
mhm.
like it's just one of those movies that is constantly referenced in my family. That's just insanely quotable. Um, yeah, I'll say that.
Do you
Or
like
maybe
the?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Black Christmas. It might be Black Christmas because that's a movie that I watch on repeat every holiday season.
What's Black Christmas? That's the one I don't
Oh,
recognize.
1974, a Canadian American horror film starring
Oh,
Olivia Hussey.
okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
really good. Check it out.
I'll have to.
It's the beginning of a lot of slasher tropes. It's a proto slasher.
Okay. You know what? I might have to watch it. Maybe
It's really smart.
should I watch it on Halloween or on Christmas?
You can watch it in July and do Christmas in July. You can
Yeah.
watch it on Halloween. You can watch it on Christmas. I would say like for me, I usually do it on Christmas and then it extends a little bit into like January 6th, like Three Kings Day.
Okay. All right. I love that answer. That was that was the correct answer. The answer the correct answer is the answer that you picked. So good job. Question number four. What's your favorite ice cream topping or frozen yogurt topping?
Well, if it's frozen yogurt, I do fruits all the way,
Okay.
like pineapple probably.
Okay.
Especially when the pineapple gets nice and frozen in the yogurt, that's really nice. But then as far as ice creams, chocolate sprinkles. I do chocolate with chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah, we had a guest on the show really like just hating on sprinkles and just in general. And
They're kind of weird, but I
Mhm.
love them. Like it's like a great comforting like just thing that I'm used to getting when I get like soft serve out of the truck.
Yeah, she's also like she used to scoop ice cream, so
Okay,
maybe
well,
she's
that might be
maybe
why.
she may be a little bit biased.
Yeah, yeah.
Question number 5, and this is the final question. You're putting on your shoes. Which and you, as you're putting on your sock, which foot do you start off with? The right or the left foot?
Left.
Okay, awesome. Are you left foot dominant?
I don't know, but I'm left-handed,
Okay,
so maybe that's why.
yeah, a little bit
But I
easier.
always think of left right
Yeah,
instead of right left.
excellent. That's a good answer too. There's really no psychological reason behind that question.
Right.
I'm kind of experimenting. We used to say like which fix is better, the left or the right, and then they stopped doing that campaign, so it didn't make sense anymore.
Right. Or
But
like there's this weird thing like is it your left thumb over your right thumb or is it your right thumb over your left thumb?
I don't know. Let me.
Like
I guess my right thumb's over my left one. So
okay, see, and for me it would be maybe the opposite. So it's just like one of those things.
yeah, it's funny how people work. You know, just in general, like how they function.
Yeah.
Well, Erica, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Again, this was a lot of fun. This episode's coming out on Friday, so I think you have something like you want to promote. We talked about it a little bit. You're going to be at Fat Slut.
Yes. Yes, if you're in Los Angeles, I'm going to be at Fat Slut in downtown LA. It's my first time doing that show. Not my first time performing at Precinct at all. Like that's probably the place I performed at the most in LA by far, but it's my first time doing Fat Slut. So I still don't know what I'm performing. Maybe I'll perform the number that goes with this doll look.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
add some Megan moments in there, some moments
Yeah.
from Megan.
You should add like a food element to it because like there's the sexy food eating contest.
Right. Well, then I was thinking like I could do Shy Guy and then have people throw vegetables at me.
Yeah.
But food waste. I'm like, hmm.
Well, I think I don't know if they allow it, like, because Meatball was talking about it on Slappy Seconds. I think they're not allowed to throw food
Okay.
in
Okay. Well,
precinct.
then
So
then cancel that. Maybe I'll do the Talkie Tina meets Megan number.
uh,
I'm just like, do I bring or do I do Bubble Bobble? Like, I'm trying to figure out like, yeah, where I'm gonna be at tonally in relation to the rest of the night.
well, regardless, it's gonna be great because I'm very
You.
jealous. I wanted to perform at Fat Slut, specifically like the sexy food eating contest. So
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna be in Los Angeles actually in July. So and it's gonna be around the time when Fat Slut's happening. So hopefully I can figure out how to get on that stage and like do a little sexy food eating. You know,
I'm sure if you told them ahead of time, you're like, can I? Because I don't know if they have people sign up beforehand. I feel like it's like they just pull people up from the crowd. So if you told them
okay.
ahead of time that you were interested, they might be down to sign you up.
Oh yeah. If there's one thing that you should know about me is like I love planning things in advance. So
Okay. Okay.
we'll figure it out. We'll get on.
Okay. Okay.
What else? Where else can people find you if they're not in Los Angeles?
Yeah. Twitch.tv/ Pastel PokeManiac.
Sweet. And then like
Yeah.
Erika Klash and Pastel PokeManiac on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. There's two accounts on Instagram. I think most other platforms, it's shared. So it'll usually say like Pastel Pokemaniac and Erika Klash, or my Instagram is just at Erika Klash. And then if you want to follow specifically for Pastel Pokemaniac, that'll be Pastel Pokemaniac on Instagram as well.
Excellent. All those links will be in the description below, and they will be titled separately, so people will know
Oh,
where
on
to
my
follow.
Patreon.
Oh, wait, you're on Patreon?
I'm on Patreon as well. It's more Pokemon content, but like behind the scenes stuff, and also I do life update videos where I like talk about like what's been going on in my world for like an hour. But then like eventually when I do more drag and stuff, I'll have things to share on that as well.
Yeah, go support Erica on Patreon, guys. Like that's really great, and tip her too because she's in drag in the morning, and it's only just been like
Yeah.
what an hour.
Oh,
She's
and
gonna have.
I do on Patreon you get early access to like the Twitch highlights that I post to YouTube. So
Okay, I'm gonna have to support it because I've been blessed with a higher paying job, so I can now.
okay.
um, Erica, thank you again for joining the show. Wayward artists out there, thanks for joining us today. This has been a lot of fun. This is kind of dream come true. type of thing. So I'm very happy um, with this episode overall. Just wanted to say that. Wayward Artists, without further ado, it's been real.